What's up, my friends? Tommy Nation Politics. How's it going today? It's Tommy Nation Tuesday. I have my friend Nate Hill coming on later. We're going to be talking about a military presence, our imperialist activity, and the wonderful presidents who helped carry out the military-industrial complex's wonderful established order. Also, guys, got some breaking news for you today. Jeff Bezos is stepping down from Amazon. That's right, guys. He might still own everything and everyone, but it's time for him to move on to better, more wonderful worlds. As must we all. In honor of Jeff Bezos, I'm drinking Camus Cabernet Sauvignon. It's from Napa Valley. A nice, full-bodied red. Very robust. Absolutely delicious. I say fruit forward. It's got a very dry, oaky taste as well. Tastes like billionaires. Anyway, we've got some good stuff on the show for you today. But first, story time by Tommy Nation Politics.
What would you say to the supporters of the QAnon, the people who believe in that conspiracy, what they think is true about America, that there's sex trafficking and a conspiracy against President Trump? And what would you say to President Trump for not rejecting that conspiracy and the people who believe in it?
I've been a big supporter of mental health. I'd recommend that people who believe it maybe should take advantage while it still exists in the Affordable Care Act. It's bizarre, totally bizarre. And now, have you guys found that plane load of people in uniforms and weapons and flying around? I mean, you know, have you found them yet? Is anybody even from by the...
This is what denial looks like in America. Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol, refusing to accept the truth that President-elect Joe Biden won the election in November. And there wasn't much law and order. Protesters donning Trump paraphernalia, many armed with assault rifles, broke into the government building as Congress worked to confirm Biden's victory. They claimed to be patriotic, waving American flags. Nothing like this has ever happened before in America. Shots were fired and one woman was killed. Elected officials, including some Republicans, are calling it an attempted coup. House members huddled on the balcony of the chamber as Trump supporters had a standoff with U.S. Capitol Police.
They broke the glass?
One woman began to pray while another filmed the cell phone video. Outside, police deployed tear gas to try and disperse the crowds. Like his supporters, Trump was in denial. The president released a video repeating baseless claims of election fraud.
We had an election that was stolen from us.
Twitter later took down the video, where he also asked his supporters to go home.
We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. Go home. We love you.
President-elect Joe Biden, who was due to take office on January 20th, relayed a different message.
This is not dissent. It's disorder. It's chaos. It borders on sedition. And it must end.
Authorities secured the building nearly 4 hours after the Trump mob broke in. Lawmakers then went back to work on the Senate floor to confirm the next president of the United States.
House Resolution 24 in the House of Representatives, United States, January 13th, 2021. Resolved that Donald John Trump, President of the United States, is impeached for high crimes and misdemeanors, and that the following article of impeachment be exhibited to the United States Senate. article of impeachment exhibited by the House of Representatives of the United States of America in the name of itself and of the people of the United States of America against Donald John Trump, President of the United States of America, in maintenance and support of its impeachment against him for high crimes and misdemeanors. Article 1, incitement of insurrection. The Constitution provides that the House of Representatives shall have the sole power of impeachment, and the President shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. Further, Section 3 of the 14th Amendment to the Constitution prohibits any person who has, quote, engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the United States from holding any office under the United States, unquote. In his conduct while President of the United States and in violation of his constitutional oath faithfully to execute the office of the President of the United States and to the best of his ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States, and in violation of his constitutional duty to take care that the laws be faithfully executed, Donald John Trump engaged in high crimes and misdemeanors by inciting violence against the government of the United States. In that, on January 6, 2021, pursuant to the 12th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States, the Vice President of the United States, the House of Representatives, and the Senate met at the United States Capitol for a joint session of Congress to count the votes of the Electoral College. In the months preceding the joint session, President Trump repeatedly issued false statements asserting that the presidential election results were the product of widespread fraud and should not be accepted by the American people or certified by state or federal officials. Shortly before the joint session commenced, President Trump addressed a crowd at the Ellipse in Washington, D.C. There, he reiterated false claims that we won this election and we won it by a landslide. He also willfully made statements that in context encouraged and foreseeably resulted in lawless action at the Capitol, such as, if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. Thus incited by President Trump, members of the crowd he had addressed in an attempt to, among other objectives, interfere with the joint session's solemn constitutional duty to certify the results of the 2020 presidential election, unlawfully breached and vandalized the Capitol, injured and killed law enforcement personnel, menaced members of Congress, the Vice President, and congressional personnel, and engaged in other violent, deadly, destructive, and seditious acts. President Trump's conduct on January 6, 2021 followed his prior efforts to subvert and obstruct the certification of the results of the 2020 presidential election. Those prior efforts included a phone call on January 2nd, 2021, during which President Trump urged the Secretary of State of Georgia, Brad Raffensperger, to, quote, find enough votes to overturn the Georgia presidential election results, and threatened Secretary Raffensperger if he failed to do so. In all this, President Trump gravely endangered the security of the United States and its institutions of government. He threatened the integrity of the democratic system, interfered with the peaceful transition of power, and imperiled a co-equal branch of government. He thereby betrayed his trust as president to the manifest injury of the people of the United States. Wherefore, Donald John Trump, by such conduct, has demonstrated that he will remain a threat to national security, democracy, and the Constitution if allowed to remain in office, and has acted in a manner grossly incompatible with self-governance and the rule of law. Donald John Trump thus warrants impeachment and trial, removal from office, and disqualification to hold and enjoy any office of honor, trust, or profit under the United States. Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House of Representatives. Mr. President, that completes the exhibition of the article of impeachment against Donald John Trump, President of the United States. The managers request that the Senate take order for the trial. The managers now request leave to withdraw.
Thank you, Mr. Raskin. At this time, I will administer the oath to the senators in the chamber. Will all senators now rise and raise their right hand? Do you solemnly swear that in all things appertaining to the trial of the impeachment of Donald John Trump, former President of the United States, now pending, you will do impartial justice according to the Constitution and laws, so help you God?
Mr. Blumenthal, Mr. Blunt, Mr. Booker, Mr. Bozeman.
Donald Trump made history when he became the first president to ever be impeached twice. His impeachment, much like his presidency, proved to be incredibly polarizing, especially as he was impeached in his final days in office for his role in the Capitol riots 2 weeks before President Joe Biden's inauguration. Trump was accused of inciting the riots through what the article of impeachment phrased as repeatedly issued false statements asserting that the presidential election results were fraudulent and should not be accepted. The document also stated, President Trump gravely endangered the security of the United States and its institutions of government, threatened the integrity of the democratic system, interfered with the peaceful transition of power, and imperiled a co-equal branch of government. Trump must still undergo an impeachment trial, although many Republicans are trying to block it. Trump's detractors are just as vocal as his supporters. Activist and former White House intern Monica Lewinsky had never been Trump's biggest supporter. In fact, she has actively used her platform to discredit and criticize him. On Twitter, Lewinsky calls herself an anti-bullying activist, TED Talks giver, and Vanity Fair contributor, among other things. Therefore, it should come as no surprise that she's never been fond of the former president, as he has specifically been disliked for his bully-esque manner of speaking to others and addressing issues. Via PBS, he appears to break the world down into winners and losers, with the latter being one of his most common insults for people he simply doesn't like, according to The Atlantic. Lewinsky has recently spoken out about Trump's impeachment trial, which is scheduled to begin next month. She tweeted, "My new idea. All of the senators need to take lie detector tests, that they would vote the same on impeachment if it were a Democrat that incited the Capitol insurrection. I know, tricky for the psychopaths among them." Many people on Twitter agreed with Lewinsky's half-true, half-cheeky tweet suggesting the use of lie detectors. One Twitter user responded, "Legislators should be held to the same standard as lawyers in a courtroom. If they lie, they can have their ability to serve as legislators removed." Lewinsky has long been critical of Trump and posted a celebratory tweet when the then president was booted off Twitter after the riots. Hashtag ban Trump save democracy, she tweeted, with many other well-known names including the hashtag in their own tweets. Indeed, she has also perfected the art of Twitter shade, which typically takes the form of simply retweeting criticism written by others. One such retweet was a tweet by the House Judiciary Committee Democrats that reads, "The Senate must convict Donald Trump and defend our democracy," as well as a tweet from Martin Luther King Jr.'s daughter, Bernice King. Impeachment is not cancel culture. If a president uses hateful rhetoric and perpetuates extremely harmful lies, thereby inciting violence on the nation's capital, the nation must admonish, correct, and prevent that behavior from happening again. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more list videos about your favorite celebrities are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today? Tommy Nation Politics.
For 4 years, from 1941 to 1945, the United States concentrated its energies on the conduct of a demanding global war. The American people turned their full attention to the job of winning that war. In the Pacific Asiatic Theater, U.S. fighting men pushed the enemy back to the shores of Japan itself by the summer of 1945. In early August, the U.S. brought the enemy finally to the point of surrender after some 44 months of the most grueling warfare. A number of Japan's largest cities lay in ruins. The course of aggression on which the Japanese nation had embarked some 14 years earlier had led to a tragic end. On a day most Americans will never forget, August 15th, 1945, the Third Fleet was in waters near Japan. Its commander, Admiral Bull Halsey, was impatiently waiting for the news which all the world was anxious to hear.
I have received this afternoon a message from the Japanese government in reply to the message forwarded to that government by the Secretary of State on August 11th. I deem this reply a full acceptance of the Potsdam Declaration, which specifies the unconditional surrender of Japan. In the reply, there is no qualification.
Finally, the all-important message came through by wireless. The enemy had surrendered. The war was over.
And tonight, a WJZ exclusive. After more than 3 weeks in Washington, D.C., members of the Maryland National Guard are back home. Our cameras were there as the buses rolled in. Sean Stryker has a look back on their mission that is being called a success.
Well, hundreds of guardsmen returned home today after being called to Washington, D.C. to help protect our nation's capital after the riots on January 6th.
The January 6th riot in Washington, D.C. caught many people off guard.
No one expected it, and I didn't expect it.
And when the angry mob gained access to the U.S. Capitol and the call for help went out, the Maryland National Guard answered.
Right when it was happening, we started packing our bags. We're ready to go.
Once in D.C., they worked around the clock in 12-hour shifts, making sure the Capitol was secure.
If there were to have been a threat, we would have been there to take action.
After more than 3 weeks, which included providing security for the presidential inauguration, the more than 800 soldiers returned home to Maryland.
They are part of history, and they know that.
Brigadier General Janine Burkhead said she's proud of the work they did while in Washington.
This is a no-notice mission and very sensitive, while also being very complex.
A complex mission that was much appreciated by the lawmakers being protected.
It was nothing but positive from the lawmakers, from bringing us donuts and coffee, pizzas, just coming by to say hello and thank you for your service. That meant so much.
A small token of gratitude for the men and women who answered the call and gave their state something to be proud of.
28-degree weather, and we're standing the line. 24 hours a day, a soldier from Maryland was guarding our nation's capital.
Now, while some guardsmen were in the nation's capital, others were activated to help with the state's vaccine rollout. In Dundalk, Sean Stryker for WJZ.
Court, Maryland Avenue, 2nd Street Northeast, and we are approaching the Russell Senate building area. Hey, do you know why they moved you guys outside the fence? No idea. This just happened, huh? No idea why they moved you outside the fence? That's interesting. So now, if you look, guys, we have soldiers lined up. How you doing, Captain? Hey, guys. How are you? How LT? What's up, man? So they moved these guys outside the Russell Senate building. I'm not exactly sure why. This is very... How you doing, buddy? Thanks for being here. So you got the police officers outside now, and you got the soldiers outside prepping for something. Not really sure. There is a bit of a protest down there, but they're just praying, but mostly a pro-life protest. And yeah, how you doing, sir? Excuse me? Okay, sorry. Oh, you didn't say that to me. You said out of the road.
Yeah, out of the road.
Okay, all right. Give me a break here. All right, you just said a second ago. Relax. All right, guys. So we have These guys are all lined up with riot shields, and they're now outside the Russell Senate building. This is very strange. Wow, they're lined up all the way down the street, guys. Look at this. So they're all outside of the fencing now. You got, these are Capitol Police and National Guard. I really don't know what this is about, other than they think that there's some sort of big protest coming. But it's a small group that's gathered on the backside of the Supreme Court that are protesting for pro-life. I took a video of that. I'll put it up in 1 second. So maybe more people are coming. Not really sure. I'll try to keep you guys up to date. But this is definitely a big change in posture by the police, the National Guard. Now, I mean, look at this. Look how many there are just lined up, one after another. Very interesting what's happening here.
Every man in the fleet, from admiral to able-bodied seaman, felt an immense surge of relief. After nearly 4 years, U.S. fighting forces had won the victory. On August 30th, American troops of the 6th Marine Division landed on Japanese soil at Yokosuka Naval Base, south of Tokyo. U.S. officers quickly assumed control of the installation and issued orders on procedure to the Japanese officers who had been in charge. With U.S. command firmly...
Well, listen, guys, I just want to come out and talk to you and see how things are going, talk to some of your troops. Let me say up front that I'm absolutely grateful for your service, your professionalism, your commitment. Your country's grateful, and certainly our lawmakers here who are doing the business of our government are really, really grateful. Come on outside. Take care of yourself. Stay warm. Take care of your comrades and stay alert. Right? All right. Cool. Good to meet you.
Meet you too, sir.
Thanks for your service. Hope you keep going, and one day if you want to be a sergeant major, you become a sergeant major. Just keep working hard. All right. What's your MOS? Okay. Right. That's good. Really good to meet you. Make sure you take care of those hands too. Okay. All right. It's our pleasure. Trust me. Just make sure you take care of yourself, take care of your comrades. Okay? Need anything? No, sir. All right. Not that you tell the Secretary of Defense, even if you do. All right? I hope you would. All right. Good to meet you.
Good evening, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Good. You from Fort Wayne too?
No, we're from Michigan, sir.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
You doing all right?
Yes, sir.
You getting everything you need?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well,
that's one of our unit patches for the exterior of the building.
Really appreciate it.
Those are the guys that were on the front lines.
Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump has parted ways with his lead impeachment lawyers, one of whom is Butch Bowers from South Carolina. This comes just over a week before the impeachment trial. The change injects uncertainty into the makeup and strategy of Trump's defense team. Bowers and Deborah Barbier have left the defense team in what one person described to the Associated Press as a mutual decision that reflected a difference of opinion on the direction of the case. Trump is set to stand trial on the week of February 8th on a charge that he incited the riot inside the U.S. Capitol.
President Joe Biden says he will push ahead with his proposed $1.9 trillion stimulus package, even without Republican support, if that's what's needed. As well as aid to states, more aid for the unemployed and small businesses, the most important part will be a proposed check of $1,400 for most Americans. Republicans have balked that the checks are too high.
I support passing COVID relief with support from Republicans if we can get it, but the COVID relief has to pass. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Checks have already gone out to millions of Americans for $600. important voices within the Democratic Party have said that that's not enough, given the millions and millions of Americans who have lost their jobs, some facing eviction during this pandemic. Biden is understood to have told people he fears doing too little in the face of a weak economy that without the stimulus package could get even weaker. Last year, the US economy contracted by 3.5%, the worst economic performance since after the Second World War. Joe Biden campaigned on being a uniter and promised to work with the Republicans whenever he could. It's going to call into question exactly how bipartisan the Biden era will be if, on one of his first major pieces of legislation, he and the Democratic Party end up going it alone. The US Centers for Disease Control issued an order Friday that makes it mandatory for people traveling on airplanes, trains, subways, and buses to wear a mask. Those breaking the rules could face criminal penalties. The order will go into effect from Monday night. The White House has said that the pace of vaccinations in this country is accelerating. In the last 7 days, there was an average of 1.2 million shots per day. The goal remains 1.5 million shots a day. This comes after Biden's plan for 100 million shots in his first 100 days was criticized as being overly cautious and not ambitious enough in the face of such a pandemic. Toby Muse reporting for CGTN, Arlington.
This morning, as demand for doses dramatically outweighs supply, frustrations are mounting over a national vaccine shortage.
Last time I came, the line was around the block.
In New Jersey, a former racetrack turned vaccine megasite can inoculate 2,400 people a day. But right now, they're only doing a quarter of that.
Because we need more vaccines here, we just can't fill up all of the working stations.
This is the supply hub for Bergen County. It's filled with PPE, medical supplies, and of course, the freezers to store the COVID vaccine. They have the capacity to store more than 1 million doses, but right now, the allocation they're getting all fits into this container.
And you can see
it's empty.
It's empty. Everybody talked about how much mass doses of vaccine were going to be put out there. And the reality is set in that that's not true.
The Biden administration is looking to change that, announcing plans to purchase 200 million more doses of vaccine. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy is optimistic.
I have supreme confidence that the Biden administration will solve the supply chain challenges, and they'll be doing 2,400, I hope, sooner than later here.
Across the country, states are getting creative, scaling up operations. In Washington, they tapped Starbucks and Amazon for logistical support. A South Carolina mayor calling on a local Chick-fil-A to help manage drive-thrus. All hands on deck, ready to fulfill their duties as soon as those freezers are full.
When we get the vaccine, look what we're going to be prepared to do.
This week, New Jersey opened up a call center to help with vaccine registration. They received 17,000 calls within the first hour. They've been having to tell communities to be patient as appointments are limited, but they are eager and ready to urge people to sign up. Peter, Kristen.
All right, Dasha Burns. Dasha, thanks so much.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes,
thanks for watching that
interviews,
YouTube channel.
uplifting stories.
We
Shop
sure
our
do
favorite
love
deals.
establishment talking points, don't we? Not really. Not really, guys. Guys, I don't know. Do we like establishment talking points? I don't think so. Let me tell you what I think, guys. I think after hearing all that, you know, the Pfizer vaccine hooking up with Amazon and Starbucks, what the fuck is going on right now, guys? That's what I want to know. What the fuck is going on? So we have, let me get this straight. We have the vaccines short, but everybody's super confident that Joe Biden, you know the thing, he's gonna take care of everything, guys. Don't worry. This guy is gonna be on top of his shit. I'm so happy, guys. I have a lot of faith in Joseph Elizabeth Biden. I'm super within his political circle, and I can tell you that this guy, this wonderful old man, this deranged old middleman, who just literally gets lost in fucking Virginia, eating ice cream on a daily basis. This guy, he can handle the country. He can handle the country with his wonderful Kabbalah. Oh no, I'm speaking, Mr. President. I'm speaking. Speaking. Yeah. These two Democrats, they really give a shit about us, don't they? I'm convinced. I hope my guests are convinced. I have finally some really amazing people on from the past, blasts from the past. Of course, you guys probably know my wonderful friend Michael Luna, who is the CFO of Tommy Nation Politics. And here's my friend Nate Hill, who's a war veteran. We're going to talk about war.
Such a fun topic. Hey, Tommy. How you doing?
Y'all all here?
I'm here. Mike
I'm
has
here.
head in the camera. Oh, he made his Mike's big ass head.
Hey, look at that, guys.
I might have a little
bro?
technical difficulties here, but I can hear y'all.
You can hear? You can't see or what?
I can hear. My phone looks a little frozen right now, but I can hear y'all.
Good. I'm glad because we're gonna be talking.
So I hope so.
Did y'all happen to catch the video beforehand? What Imperial presents? Go ahead, Date.
They wrapped in Chick-fil-A now to distributing the vaccine. That's fun. South Carolina holding it down.
Hey, so it is bipartisan then. It is bipartisan, this vaccine.
Hey man, you don't mess with God's chicken sandwich, okay? And we were good until Popeyes came in, and then the fucking world ended apparently because somebody fucked with God's chicken sandwich. So I'm just saying.
I wouldn't fuck with God's chicken sandwich. I see those motherfuckers in the morning. It's like 9 a.m. There's cars literally stacked on top of cars. What the fuck is in that chicken? What's in that chicken? There's crack in that chicken, isn't there?
Crack and Jesus. Lots of crack and lots of Jesus, man. I'm telling you.
More crack than Jesus. I'm just
Karen,
gonna put it out there.
Karen's in line. That Chick-fil-A, bro.
Excuse me, I said no pickles on that chicken sandwich. You gave me 3 pickles. You know that's true. I just take the pickles off. You know what's funny? I do say no pickles all the time, but I just take the pickles off because they always put them on anyway. I'll just take them off. Some people can't. They'll be like, excuse me, I'm going to call the police. Did y'all see that one video where like Karen's in the driveway calling the police, the drive-thru. Everybody's all honking on her, telling her to get out the driveway, we're hungry. No, I'm calling the police. And the police are like, no, ma'am, you can't call us about a chicken sandwich. This has to be an emergency.
Wow.
I'm glad the police told her off. That's nice.
Chicken sandwiches are taking over, man. I'm telling you. They're taking over.
They're taking over. Neoliberalism's taking over. You know the thing. You look fat. It's taking over. What do you think of our new president so far, guys? Y'all like his 42 executive orders in 1 week? I didn't know the guy could move that fast.
We're paying for abortions in other countries. I think right now, with everything going on in the U.S., an executive order for us to pay for abortions in another country is really important. I'm so glad we're doing that. It makes my heart warm.
Yeah.
That I have to worry about some of my kids in Mexico. I'm just saying, I'm just playing. I don't have kids in Mexico. I'm just being sarcastic right now.
You look like you have kids in Mexico, Nate.
Thanks, man. Is that all right?
I'm just kidding, bro. So, like, look, honestly, I'm not a right or left kind of guy. My only goal is to destroy these two parties. That's my only goal. I've honestly forsaken every gay marriage. I've forsaken every single other issue except the destruction of these two parties. Everybody talks about abortion and stuff. I'm sure it's important to you, and I understand. Some people, my friend Jen, she's like, you become heartless now. No, I literally have a vendetta against these two parties. That's all I care about. It's like, wow, like it's probably bad guys. But like they're just so horrible. These parties are horrible, bro. And they promise us $2,000 checks. And then, like you said, they give the money to abortions in fucking Mexico. What?
Did you actually think that was ever going to happen? Come on.
No, bro. But it's what makes me even madder is that everybody's like, we were talking about gaslighting a few days ago. I don't know if y'all know what
Yeah, I'm not that old that I don't know what gaslighting is.
Gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse, where a person or group makes someone question their sanity, perception of reality, or memories. People experiencing gaslighting often feel confused, anxious, and unable to trust themselves. So then, like immediately, as soon as they got elected, no, we didn't say $2,000 checks. We said $1,400 checks. Yep. Those are the droids you're looking for.
Yep.
These Jedi mind tricks, they don't work on me. But they work on half the country, though. That's what scares me.
Well, do you guys think it's even people using common sense and rationale, or do you think it's completely tribal at this point? Because I think it's just completely tribal from a lot of people right now. All they have is their little bubble, and they listen to is their little bubble, and people inside in that, and they get their news sources from that bubble on either side. And then there's like the people in the middle who I like to call the common sense party that are just like, maybe Hillary and Trump aren't the greatest two Americans we can have running for president right now. You know,
I know. There wasn't. There was one shining beacon on a hill, and she got wrecked. She got wrecked.
And to your point, Nate, I was gonna say, and people also watch and read news and information that's going to confirm their biases already. So you could have information, but they're more than likely going to like watch and listen to stuff that's already going to, it's tribal. It's just completely tribal. They're going to stay in their bubble and they're going to listen to information and watch news that pretty much falls in line with their bubble and where they're at. That's the set.
Black man speak. All right, let the black man speak.
Dingus Mudbrain. Thank you. There's three of us. I'm good.
Well,
you know what's funny is that we all went to high school together. So this is honestly the dynamic is how it was when we're playing basketball together. So I'm honestly at home. I'm at home. Except Nate would be calling me Salisbury and slapping the pavement all the time. I'll never forget, bro. Every time you like made a shot or something, like you'd be like smacking you remember that, Micah? You smacked the half court line.
Get hyped up.
Get him, cookies.
In that aspect. I had a lot of anger back then. I got a lot of that shit out, thankfully. But yeah.
You did? That's too bad. I'm just kidding. Did the military get it out for you?
Fuck. The military was an enlightening experience for me. Did the black man lead in points? Wow.
Hey, 1 year I did. One year.
He could play. We had a lot of guys that he could play. We had a lot of guys that could play on that team though. Yeah, man, the military was crazy because, for example, in college I was bored. I was studying broadcast journalism. So there's a lot of journalism classes in that. And I'm at Texas Tech, which is Bible Belt / insanity. So I mean, Lubbock wasn't, after 2 years, I was bored of partying there. And so I went in the military and pretty much got through basic AIT, which is individual advanced training, and then jump school, and then went straight to Italy. And 3 months later, was in Afghanistan for a year and a half. So northeastern Afghanistan. So early 20s, a large part of my 20s was in the Middle East. A large part of that was in Afghanistan. So yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'm still aggressive as fuck, but
yeah. James Morris says, I don't recall Nathan being angry at all. So that's nice.
We got Morris on here. What's up, dude? But I'm gonna let you lead. It's your show. I'm gonna stop talking.
Dude, the whole reason I invited you on, guys. Hey, I know y'all are my guests and my viewers, but you don't have to defend me, guys. I invited my guys on here. So basically, I want to know about the military. That's my big thing because honestly, Nathan, I have to be honest with you. I look at this whole entire thing, and I'm a patriotic American. But at this point, I look at the military as the empire, the Imperial Army. Okay, and what does that make you if you're in the military? Kind of makes you stormtroopers, right?
I'm a stormtrooper now.
I mean. That's why I invited you here, because I don't understand the mentality of joining the Imperial forces.
The Imperial forces. Oh.
What? I mean, did you guard oil for the Saudis? What did you do there?
No, bro.
How did you liberate how did you spread democracy?
All right, so I guess you need to break the military down into its key components. So 90% of the military works a support role.
Right.
So HR, fucking transportation, the medical corps, unless they're combat medics, they're not out in the field, meaning front lines, stuff like that. And then the other 10% is actively engaged in combat. That's all branches. 90% of support. Okay,
right.
Obviously. So for me personally, I wasn't spreading freedom, as you called it. I was absolutely a stormtrooper. So I was with the Airborne Infantry and then in Ranger Bat for a while. And so pacifying areas. So that's what we were doing. So for me, most of my military career, I was in the northeastern part of Afghanistan called Kunar, in a region called Kunar, Afghanistan, which is, you pulling it up right now, Tommy? You can see some mountains. It's in the Hindu Kush mountain range. And it's wild. So For
Wait,
me,
what's it called? What's it called?
Kunar, the region CUN. Hold on, I'll pull it up. Make sure I'm not being stupid and misspelling it for you.
Kunar
So
province?
Kunar
Province?
Afghanistan. Yeah. So I spent almost 4 years in that province.
All right.
So, I mean, it was interesting. It was an eye-opening experience. I got to see how much money is in war. There's a lot of money in war, man. A lot. You know about that already going in, and then you see it in person, and it's a whole different experience, bro. So no, I wasn't going oil, wasn't guarding poppy fields, wasn't doing any of that. What we were doing was pacifying really brutal areas to bring the to bring that area into the modern. I just lost you. Okay, and you're back. To bring that area into the modern world, but for all the violence and killing and all that shit, I think we did some good. I mean, on a small scale.
Like
so,
what?
For example, I mean, women over there are slaves, bro.
Okay, so you freed the women?
We tried to until politics got involved, and then that certain parts of that region that were absolutely horrible. A lot of people died in fighting over. Yeah, that's Kunar, baby. That's not Kunar.
No.
Actually,
It's not?
let me see. Go back to the one with the mountains. The crazy mountains keep going. That's way too pretty, dude. That's way too domesticated.
Okay, the mountains.
Yeah, you got
This one?
mountain range. There you go. Yeah, but that house is too nice, so that can't be right. But the mountains are like that.
Okay.
So basically, Kunar, yeah, it is nice. It could be Colorado
This
Springs.
guy literally said Kunar like coon. That's funny. Anyway, I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that. I think it's my mic that's messing up. Go ahead and keep talking while I change mics.
So basically, what was really eye-opening when around out there, dealing with tribal elders, dealing with the different criminal elements out there, dealing with the radical elements out there, the Taliban, Al Qaeda, all of that, and just seeing how things change. So, for example, I was in the same area under two different administrations and seeing the difference between the two administrations. And Bush administration was pretty much smack them down until they listen.
Smack
and
them
the
down
Obama
until they listen.
administration. What's up?
Smack them down and listen.
Yeah, smack them down until they listen. Al Qaeda's way worse. The Taliban are fundamentals. They're horrible, but there's a sense of still tribal honor there. Al Qaeda, you'll find fucking kids that have had they've used a power drill and they've drilled a freaking screw into their head to kill them in front of their parents. That's the difference between Al Qaeda and the Taliban. They're horrible.
That's not cool.
No, it's not. Al Qaeda's a whole different ballgame, dude.
Okay, so what exactly did you do while you were in Kunar?
Waste of a screw. Funny. What I did was I worked with the airborne infantry. So I was on the line. I worked in reconnaissance, and I did that my entire career. So go out, look for high value targets. Yeah, I can be quiet when I want to be, Tommy. So I got. Thanks, murderer. You're a dumbass. So yeah, but I am a killer, so I'm not gonna hold that back. That's true. But yeah, so high value targets.
Go ahead.
So high value targets, and basically on the Afghan-Paki border. Folk, Jesus, dude, are you from West Virginia? Folk, I haven't heard that in a minute. So Afghan-Paki border, lots of human trafficking, lots of drugs, obviously.
And my type of place. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, man. If you like weed and you like opium, it's everywhere. It's wild. It grows everywhere. It's crazy. Got a problem with West Virginia. That's funny. Yeah, not the greatest place. Not gonna lie to you. There's a better place in the United States.
Joe Manchin, not a good guy.
So, yeah. So basically, there, the really interesting dynamic there was how much money the U.S. government would give to these warlords in the area.
Yeah.
To basically bring them across, especially under Obama. That was really interesting to see. You're talking about large amounts of money, and then just the amount of basically combat there on a daily basis for about 3 months, from about December to March, all the mountains are basically frozen, and you got like 2 feet of snow on the ground. So it was pretty calm, but besides that, it was just the Wild West, man. And there's large parts of Afghanistan. Helmand's like that, Helmand province. There's a couple other provinces that are Paktik's pretty wild. So what was really interesting though is we pacified the area pretty well from 07 to 08. So for a year and a half we're there. We pacified the area really well. Came back in the end of 2009. And basically all that.
What do you mean you pacified? You mean you pacified the area?
We wrecked shop, bro. That's what I mean. We wreck shop. We would get in a lot of firefights. There's a lot of documentaries that have been made about that area. There's Korengal, there's Restrepo, there's the Hornet's Nest. There's a bunch of documentaries that have been made about that place. Korengal and Restrepo was about my unit during that time period. So basically, shameful or shameful? We'll talk about it. One, not gonna answer that. So basically
This guy is so he's fucking. I'm gonna put this on the screen. This hella guy's hilarious, bro. Who is this guy? Are you the FBI? Are you the FBI?
I was about to say, like, yeah, no, definitely not gonna go into that. So yeah, I mean, we pacified the insurgents. That's what we call them. But
insurgents.
I mean, you have everybody from Al Qaeda, there's the Taliban, to Chechens there. I mean, just in criminal syndicates alone, there's 2 major ones that run opium out of that part of Afghanistan, let alone Helmand and other parts.
Who are they?
You're talking about tons of money, dude. The Haqqani
so you said
network.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
Haqqani network.
Haqqani network is one.
Yeah.
They are Pashtun. So I'm rambling. So if you want to put me back on track, because I don't know exactly what you want to talk about.
Well, we were talking about the Haqqani network, and we were talking about what was the other one though? Tell me for me.
Haqqani network. Let me pull up the other one.
Because what I wanted to discuss also was, like, we discussed your motivation behind. Did we discuss your motivation behind wanting to join the army? Like, why did you want to join?
I was bored.
That's it, right? So
Yeah,
you, being bored, decided I'm going to go to the most killing, destructive part of human society and not be bored anymore. And that's going to help me not be bored? I just don't understand. The army. Why did you get a tennis club? Why don't you start a fucking chess game? You went to the army. You wanted to kill, didn't you? Did you want to kill?
No, because I can go to Mexico and do that, man. I know a lot of people that are in freaking organized crime. Also, that's not hard to get into either.
That's true.
What it is, man, is that military family, 1, 2.
Okay, I see.
Studying journalism.
Mm-hmm.
Fighting for the win, dude. Yeah, I'm not even gonna touch it. Studying journalism, so I'm interested in what's going on over there. 3, knew I was probably gonna go to Afghanistan. So, the interesting thing about Afghanistan for me personally is that during the Dark Ages in Europe, Afghanistan and Iran led the world in medicine. Essentially, they were the scientific leaders of the world at that point in time. And what's crazy to me is now, especially Iran is not Afghanistan. I'm not saying it is. They have a functioning, semi-functioning country. It's, they have their own thing going on. Afghanistan is the fucking Wild West. Like, it is. It's insane. And so for me, I thought that was really interesting. Plus, man, Genghis Khan came down the Pesh River Valley. He got stopped there. That's insane. I spent 6 months there. Alexander the Great ran through that bitch. All these different historical things happened. True. I mean, that's the Tora Bora Mountains in the caves in there, spelunking with a gun, finding crap from the Russians. And we found crap from the English before them. I mean, it's something like 430 something wars in the last 300 years.
Right. So, who do you think is the most threatening power? Who's the most threatening power to the
land
United
has
States?
forever. China. For a landslide, China.
Even more than Russia?
Russia's a paper tiger, dude. They are.
That's what I thought.
So
you can tell the Democratic Party that.
Well, they're an easy scapegoat, man. Now, if you would ask me who's the best world leader currently, right now, the most dangerous world leader, I would say Putin. He understands the use of military force. He's ex-KGB. He had a stellar. If you read his bio, he had a stellar. From what we know, he had a stellar career with the KGB. Dude's only like 5'5", man. In East Bloc, Ukraine, like even Hungary, Romania, some of these countries. If you guys ever go, you'll notice everybody's dudes are pretty stacked, and that's something over there. That like machismo thing over there is a big deal. So he became a boss in the KGB, red wine, and then he became a boss in the illegal crime syndicates, right? And then he ran the country. He took over the country. Dude's a munchkin. So that's impressive in itself. He's ruthless. He understands the use of military force.
He likes to ride animals.
Don't we all? And and he fucking he understands the political aspect of it as well.
Definitely.
So for me, I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I was just saying.
Rambling.
Okay, so we all clearly know that Joe Biden is not a military mind. He's been wrong about every single fucking thing, military-wise, since 1994. Okay, every single thing.
You're insinuating that he has a mind right now.
He is okay. Let's just say he is a piece of shit, dictator, puppet, corporate tool. So, with that in mind, and he's bought by China. So, with that in mind, his executive orders and his ruling, the fact he's a commander-in-chief armed forces. Why did he have 4,000 troops in Washington D.C.? Do you know?
Wasn't it 20,000 at the start?
Why do you have all those troops? Was someone trying to kill him? This guy is paranoid too.
I consider for me. So I ran into a lot of different figures in the military. I was that unit for a very long time, and it was in Italy. So small reaction force. So basically, they every campaign season they want to come around and they want pictures. Like that video you were showing earlier, where that guy's like, "You're going to become a sergeant major. Make sure you take care of yourself." Blah blah blah. Bitch, there's 40 cameras behind him, recording and snapping that whole thing. That's going to be part of his campaign speech for whenever he goes up for re-election. I don't even know who that guy is. So, for me personally, I think I consider Washington D.C. like the Vatican is to Italy. So it's its own little nation within a nation. During 2008 crisis, when everybody was losing everything, they're building. Tons of money is still flowing into D.C. So the elite, the elite political class, the blue bloods, they got freaked out by a bunch of old people with whoever Viking man and some other dumbasses that went in there.
The Q shaman.
Aimlessly like stuttering around and walking through the that building. I mean, what did you see? Would you be scared if that old group of people came up to you? Would you really be that scared about it?
They weren't scary, honestly. They really weren't.
I mean, we have people in Portland taking on DHS to burn down a courthouse. Like literally getting shot with paintballs, like getting after it. I mean, Chicago, did you see the protest where they did like the Roman formation and charged with their signs? Did you see that? Like,
Yeah, it was so dumb. It really was.
but
The whole thing was
I mean, they're
dumb,
getting
and then
after
like,
it, and then you have.
God, no,
No,
go
no,
ahead.
go ahead. You've been rambling.
Well, like
I said you have melee.
Yeah, the whole thing. You talk about the insurrection. The whole thing was just. We had one viewer that was like, the whole thing was planned. I don't know who planned it because it went badly. I don't know what was supposed to happen there. It didn't happen. It was like blue balls. The troops. There's no reason to have troops there. I have this friend, Mary. She says that Joe Biden's not really the president. The military is running the entire operation right now.
No, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Jennifer Lopez saying this land is my land. So I don't know. I can't compete with that shit. This land is your land. What do you think of the inauguration? Did you watch it?
No, fuck no. I didn't waste my time with that, man.
I had to cover it, and let me tell you, people for a second they thought that I was mainstream media. They were getting on my channel, and then like I started making commentary, and they're like, "Let him talk." I'm like, "Y'all are telling me to shut the fuck up on my own show, like for real, just so this guy can lie to you." This guy, I was fact checking Joe Biden in real time. He was talking about racial equality. You know, when Joe Biden locked up half my race in 1994 with his crime bill, now he's talking about racial equality. This guy is constantly just, his idea of racial equality is locking up everyone. That's the racial equality. I just hate this president, bro. 42 executive orders. Why is the military being used? This guy likes the military a lot, but he doesn't seem to have any strategy at all. I'm afraid, what is he going to, and now he's in Syria, guarding the oil fields for the Saudis. How do you feel about that?
He doesn't like us, one. The Obama administration hated the military. So
why is that?
Yeah, because there wasn't a lot of love between the Obama Biden administration and the military. Because basically, we try to now. Do you all support the Capitol protest? No, because it was stupid. I didn't.
Honestly, don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why everybody isn't writing. We should all be writing. These two parties have robbed us since March. They have.
They've been robbing us for a long time.
Protest? Not what they were writing up, not what they were writing up, writing about and protesting about. I don't support that. I'm a leftist. But do I think if they burned that whole fucking place down to the ground, would I have been sad? No, not at all. Just saying. Just FYI.
What interested me, and we can go through the line of presidents, because you say they've been stealing since March. They've been stealing since we've been adults, dude.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about this. And
now it's not more blatant. Like they literally get wagons and go to the treasury, print more money, and then fucking haul it out, Nathan. Like they are literally like, it's cartoon style how they're robbing us now.
I know.
Like Steve Mnuchin was printing money hardcore. He's printing money every day.
I know. It's insane. And what's wild to me, for example, is like, so under the Bush regime, for me personally, I really think Cheney ran the country.
Yeah,
I do. I really do.
George W. Bush couldn't even get through a doorknob without, like, he couldn't open a door without, like, help. Remember that? So, remember that one time they recorded him trying to leave the room? He couldn't find the door. Couldn't find the doorknob. So, yeah, it must have been Cheney. And Cheney was running it the whole time. He actually found, you see that movie W? He finds George W. Bush.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, you want to run for president? Your dad was president. You got good name recognition. That's how it's done. That was done right there.
And then under, the Obama Biden administration, we were constant. So under Bush, it was just go. Fuck it. Make it work. We're going to give you all we can, but if you get left out in the cold, I'm sorry, saying from the military perspective, then it is what it is. For example, under Bush, they had a brigade under Obama in there, and we only had a platoon with 30 guys. Quarter of them are usually fucked up. So say 20 to 22 on average. Yeah, man. So you're constantly rotating whoever gets hurt, and then sometimes you get other assets to come help you. So under Obama, what they would
we closed Guantánamo Bay, right? Under Obama.
No, we didn't.
No?
Fuck no.
Is it still open?
As far as I'm aware, yes. There's still contracting jobs in Guantánamo, so I'm guessing
all the blue dogs think that the Guantánamo Bay is closed. That's been closed since Obama. He said he closed it. We'll let y'all know it's not closed.
Hey, highlight that last dude's question. What's the enlisted man's favorite drug?
Okay, go ahead and answer if you want. I don't care.
Not talking about
What is
you,
it?
white man, but your platoon buddies. Wow. Alcohol. Very much alcohol. You can fight drunk. You can't fight when you're high. This is factual.
I mean, unless you're,
So
you could get tweaked out, bro. Fight for sure. Can't you get tweaked? You know what they had? A Lord of War.
You can't aim a gun if you're tweaking, bro. You can't aim a gun if you're tweaking.
Dude, that movie Lord of War. Did you see that with the African tribes? They did like cocaine with gunpowder.
Yeah,
that doesn't help. That doesn't help.
I can neither confirm nor deny that one, Tommy. I'm staying out of that whole deal. So I still have a security clearance I'm trying to hold on to.
Yeah, you should. Don't be like Jared Kushner and get your security clearance taken away.
Yeah.
So
who knows? This show might do it.
You know what? I don't even know why I'm so popular with people taking my show and shoving it down the toilet. YouTube's giving me a strike. Facebook won't even let me post on my own fucking page. They hate me.
I noticed that. I was
they hate
trying
me.
to follow you.
I don't understand why. Like, I'm not even that important. I'm really not. What about Alex Jones? Go get him. Jesus Christ. I don't get it. But all I can say is Micah, he's still on here, but he went somewhere. I don't know where he went, but
couldn't keep that big head of his on the screen, I guess. I don't know.
I know. He's the one who got me in trouble. I was trying to explore the 17th letter of the alphabet.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what I'm talking about. And then, YouTube got me. They're like, don't you mention that.
That's wild.
You know what's funny about censorship, Nathan? It doesn't ever work. Because the minute you censor me or pull my videos, that's when people actually want to know why. Why'd you do that? That's why it doesn't work. But these people are so like drunk on power, they don't even understand what they're doing. They're literally making more people question them every time they censor people.
Well, I mean, you could be getting censored in Ireland right now. Like there could be a drone working at the YouTube building in Ireland or London or Germany, and we could be having this conversation. It could all get pulled down because their policies in Europe are different from those in the States. I mean, fuck me. Like I have kids in Europe, so I go back there all the time. And so, like, for example, what was crazy last year is an English comedian, Scottish comedian, excuse me. So still the UK, taught his dog how to do the Hitler salute. They threw him in jail over that. He made a joke.
The Hitler
he had his
salute?
dog do the Hitler salute. Yes.
I hear they're pretty strict there with that shit. I don't mind it.
But we're talking about the UK. Yeah, but that's crazy that he
Hitler
actually got
did
locked
invade
up.
all of their countries, so I understand the angst. Except for Great Britain.
If you were in
Poland, Berlin, Normandy,
yeah, but we're talking about
them all.
But it's free speech,
yeah, that's true. I mean, he did give him a lot of grief. They did bomb the UK a lot, right?
They did. They did
bomb the UK.
I mean, if those countries have for so long and killed for so long, and this is since World War II has been their first little moment of peace where they haven't been constantly invading and trying to kill each other. And the fact that you have a dumbass comedian in Aberdeen or wherever in Scotland that makes a stupid video, you can't do the Scottish brogue. It's not coming out right. And he's in jail for that, pending trial. Hopefully he's out by now. Is fucking insane. That's like you and me having this conversation right now, and then not even the feds, our local PD shows up and was like, "You guys made some insensitive jokes that really offended some people." So you guys gonna have to sit in lockout while we wait for a judge to pending trial. That's insane.
It is insane. That's not freedom of speech. It's not free or liberty. Yeah. So how long until it gets to that point with our country?
If it ever gets to that point, we're not going to survive as a nation.
Do you think there's going to be more protests like there was, like we've seen in the Capitol? They're making such a big deal about it.
I think those protests I think that protest, excuse me, was a joke compared what's brought in the future and what's already happening in Seattle and Portland. You have people, you've had protests in Portland in neighborhoods, just no sleep and fucking with the middle class. You had protests in neighborhoods where Lori Lightfoot dragged up 3 of the bridges. So they rioted in the poor areas instead of where the big money is. You have a lot of issues. Sooner or later, people like what you saw was the geriatric Midwestern middle class come out and protest with some crazies. They just kind of shuffled around the Capitol building, and they're losing their minds because it fits their narrative. Burned down the fucking DNC headquarters in Portland the other night, like a week ago.
Really? I didn't even know about that. Thank God.
Yeah. So I mean, I think without an option for the people, for people in the middle, like we're both in the middle. I'm probably like 10 years ago, Democrat. Now I don't even know what I am because either far the other, one way or the other. I'm center right, center left on some issues. It just depends. I think you're center left, center right on some issues also. So I mean,
Dingus Mubray, where are you from, bro? He's weird. What do you expect out of a king? No politician is actually beholden to the monarchy is. Do you have a monarchy in your land? Dingus Mubray? Where's this guy from?
American, baby. Slavery, not. Freedom is absolutely not slavery, my friend. You just
you gotta.
You need to go somewhere where
there's some books behind me. There's some books behind me, Dingus Mubray. I just want you to get a dictionary out. Okay, look up freedom, then look up slavery, and then let me know what you think about that.
But we are kind of living in Orwellian times. I will give you that. So an Orwell quote is fitting for a current time we are living in. 1984 is starting to kick in. But
no, 1984 was ever since 1994, the Telecommunications Act of 1996, when Bill Clinton conglomerated, made sure that 6 media companies could conglomerate into one giant fucking cable news dump and destroy real truth as it is. Walter Cronkite was the last real newsman, and then the rest. Now it's all mainstream media propaganda, all different kinds. So what? So the thing is that's funny is to me the catch-22 is that there's only, I always say on my show, Nathan, there's only two kinds of people in this country. There's patriots and there's loyalists. I don't know how to deal with that though, because there's gonna have to be some kind of revolution in this country for us to get the freedoms and liberties that our founding fathers gave us in the Constitution. We've lost most of it through the 9/11 Patriot Acts and the surveillance state. And so now they're going to the free speech. There's going to come a time when it's going to go too far. And my question to you is, what side do you think the military is going to be fighting on? That's what I wonder, because I don't want to have to. First of all, I don't want to go against the U.S. military. Okay, that's scary. Second of all, but it's like, what are we going to do? What do you think? What do you think about that?
It's gonna be a split, man. It's gonna be a split. You're gonna have. You're gonna have. Okay, so the Pentagon, once you make it to that level, as a general officer, so full above, you are basically a politician. Because if you're not a part of the clique, you don't survive very long. Some of the people I've worked for over the years were excellent at their craft, way better than anybody that was sitting over there. And their careers, as soon as they got too much notoriety, just like Roman legions, just like other in the past, when basically somebody that wasn't a blue blood or somebody wasn't part of a certain clique basically rose above their station and got notoriety for it, they got shuffled off and their career died. Worked with an amazing commander who became a general at the end, and he got shipped off he got shipped off to West Point. So he was a brigadier, I think, at the time, or becoming a brigadier general. So it's a 1-star general. He was really good at what he did. He was a phenomenal commander. Find at that level, because usually you have to be a politician. and he got shipped to West Point and was at West Point as a commandant for 6 years. Think about that. A great combat leader at an executive level. He never led troops again. So he wasn't allowed. Right? His star wasn't allowed to keep rising. Do you get my drift? Like how they did that?
Yeah.
That's just one example. Two examples of that. And so they only people that, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, and this doesn't reflect the special forces community. That's a whole different ballgame. But for mid-tier to regular Army or Marines, any of that, they want people that are inside that bubble. They want people that will play ball. So I can't tell you at a company level or battalion level how that would shake out. I can tell you the top, what we call the top brass, the Pentagon level, whoever's in that building, when or if that happens, you're gonna have a lot coming out of that building, and it's gonna come down because we're split, dude, down to the team, to the squad, to the platoon, to the freaking company, and it goes up from there. So the NCO Corps runs the military. The officer corps does the paperwork, essentially. That time as a young officer, but then you are moved into a staff position. So unless you're in the special forces world, and then that's completely different, they grind as much as their dudes do, meaning they fight as much as their dudes do, or females, because some of those groups have women in them. So you're gonna have a split. I don't like if you're ever you don't want that in America, man. So ugly. Like it's you. We have mutual friends that we have a mutual friend that's a combat medic, and he was telling you some stories, and it is horrific what you see over there. You could
I know. Tulsi Gabbard was a combat medic, and she literally ran for president after that, or she ran for office after that because she wanted to try to get out of the wars. Like that was her motivation to get out of the wars. So
yeah,
that sucks, man.
So you really, that is a massive. I know that is a ramble, so I'm not really helping. I'm not a political commentator.
Well, we're at the end of the show anyway. So thank you for all of your patience. Don't you just love the internet crew, Nate? They're they're helpful. They're helpful. They're encouraging. They're wonderful people. Good people. Tremendous, intelligent people. I give y'all a 10. Biggest mud brain, you're a 10.
But I would suggest one thing: anything but civil war. That's the last thing we need in America. Anything but civil war.
Oh, it is.
It's the last thing we need.
I mean, we've already had one. It was the bloodiest battle we've ever had on this land. So I don't want to go there. But will they please stop? Will they please stop taking away our rights, the privileges? Every time there's anything, they just keep taking more. They just take, bro. They're like the hedge fund managers.
Well, that's why I loved that, because money runs America. That's the most important thing in America.
Money what makes the world go around.
It does, but in America, it's so if economic revolution before a physical revolution makes way more sense, doesn't it?
You know what? That's what the Reddit people taught us last week. That we don't have to have a civil war. We can fight them economically. So I like that. I was racking my brain to try to find a way to not have to be violent, because I am not a violent person. So thank God, I could do that. I can do economic, warfare. Well, Nate, it was good to have you on the show. I hope anytime you want to come back, we don't have to do this just once. I like not talking about myself, so let me know.
This has been fun.
My good friend Nate Hill, Michael Luna, CFO, who's watching. Y'all, make sure, if anything, you do 3 things magically. You think freely, innovate, be totally open-minded. Tommy and